not eat. I just, it was like forcing food in, and after about 500 calories, it's like, screw it, I
Yeah, I
can't
saw
do
that
it.
one day you only had like 520 some calories.
Yeah, and it was like, I'm dying here, I can't do it. And it was weird because I was gaining weight on those days. And then the next day, I'm just starving out of control, to the point where at one point I caught myself with a handful of corn chips. I'm like, I can't have those, and I went like that. Of course, somebody was more than happy to clean up the mess, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that was the day I lost a whole bunch. And it was just kind of like that. It was like the days I couldn't eat, I was gaining weight. The days I could eat, I was losing weight. Didn't make any sense. And there was something else. Oh, and then my scale was acting stupid. It was like sitting in the same spot, and I'd stand on it, and it'd say 286. I'm like, what the heck? And I'd try it again and say 283. Okay, and I'd stand on 285.
Have you tried changing the batteries?
No, I haven't.
You might want to try changing the batteries.
See how to find batteries.
Yeah, because your batteries may be running low, and
Uh-huh.
that's the other reason why it could be doing that. So,
okay.
Either that or the sensors underneath the scale could be off a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So, naturally, you're right. You don't want to move the scale. You want to keep it in one location. Don't move it.
Right.
But if it's not moving, then it might be the batteries. If that's the case. The only thing I saw when I was looking at your meal plan or your daily intake is I know that like you said, it's hard to get the when you're just not hungry, you don't want to eat. Right? It's almost like you got to force it down, right? But how are your bowel movements? That's the bigger question to me.
On those days, I couldn't even pee, let alone anything else. It was like there was some, but not very much. And then of course the day that I was starving, he could tell you I was in the bathroom singing "Pee Glorious." I was just going like crazy, and bowel movements like 2 or 3 in a day, that kind of thing.
Okay.
It was just, like I said, it was like the days that I
very
couldn't
erratic.
eat. Yeah, it was like.
And hence why I can see why you're gaining weight if your bowel movements are very erratic.
Yeah.
As well. I mean, actually, if you're gaining weight, right, and then your bowels are not moving, then basically you're not moving gram weight. You're not removing the fecal weight from your body.
Right.
And therefore, it's going to just keep accumulating. It's not like it can dissipate, right? It's not like it can go away.
Yeah.
So then you're essentially putting on weight for that reason.
Yeah.
And then actually, if you have a big drop and you're in your restroom 2 or 3 times and your bowels are moving, then you're losing obviously fecal matter as well. So that's what I'm seeing that's probably going on. I mean, because your fiber is pretty consistent. Some days you're really low, some days you're really high. But obviously, when you are eating as much protein as you are, you're going to get more. The risk for constipation goes up. Hence, that's why I want you making sure your fiber is adequate, and then also your probiotic. You're getting an adequate probiotic to kind of help offset bacterial overgrowth from that. So.
Okay. Yeah, and I've been having fun trying to figure out how to work the fruit part into the diet. Getting better at it. At first, it was a little bumpy.
Okay.
And but like when we were talking about smoothies, all I did was I found out you said I could have 75 calories in fruit. Okay. So I knew, okay, that means a cup and a half of strawberry, or was it?
Yep.
3/4 cup blueberries, or an apple, right? And so I got just a little bit less than that, so I knew I was good. I took my blender and that shake stuff that you give me. I would take like just a cup of strawberries with my shake mix. Oh, damn, that was good.
What flavor of shake did you use?
I used the chocolate with the strawberry.
Yeah.
And then I used the apple with the raspberry. It was okay. It was still kind of the grainy feeling, but it was pretty good. And then I used the blueberry with the chocolate.
Okay.
Chocolate raspberry mix. It was all mixed up. But oh man, it was just to add the fruit.
Yeah.
Gave it a real thick, smoothie, chocolatey, like a naughty drink.
A naughty drink. Okay.
like those Frosties or something.
Yeah, well, it gives you that mental aspect that you're getting what you're wanting. So,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, he's gonna write that one down. Yeah, naughty drink.
Naughty drink. Okay.
And then I haven't started these yet. I found this yogurt.
Yeah, Greek yogurt.
was like, I can mix my fruit with that, make a smoothie out of it.
Yeah, it's got some a little bit of probiotic in it. Not a ton, but it does give you some. Yeah, 70 calories, perfectly good. Sugar's low. Protein's good. So, this is a good alternative.
That's good.
Now the thing
and
about it is
higher
obviously
protein.
it's plain. How do you know, most of these things are very, very tart.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is I mix this
Yeah.
with my serving of fruit.
Okay.
And I got myself.
You get about 125, 140 calories out of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm more, I finished up the other yogurt. The other yogurt already had fruit in it, or whatever flavors in it. So
Yeah,
I figured I'd use that
flavorings.
one up and be done with it, and then start mixing this.
Okay.
It's higher in protein.
Yeah.
Mix it with the fruit, I'm more likely to like it.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's an alternative. We were talking about cottage cheese at one time. I was like, well, I would prefer this over cottage cheese.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, we'll give it a try.
So what's the serving size on that? Is that what?
4 ounces.
4 ounces? Yeah, 4 ounces. That's why it's 70 calories. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Away it goes.
Yeah, because I figured I'd try that one out.
Bring up your chart real quick. I had to refresh our medical record just because it wasn't bringing up your chart.
And on the chili, I made the chili, but what I did is I took about half of it and froze that, and that's what the guys like. It's all
Sorry about that.
Froze that, and then I took the other half and I added all these other vegetables and stuff like that. So it's higher in the vegetables and lower in all the other stuff. But I counted like 31 cups, so that's how I figured out what the calories was. So the serving was a cup's worth.
That's a lot of chili, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, when I make chili, I make a lot.
That's a lot. That's enough to feed the basketball team.
Well, I was going to make a little bit, but then come to find out, my son's starting to get in the habit of coming home on the weekends, and which is cool. I'm enjoying it. I just, so I made a bigger bunch because I know he's a big guy. He likes to eat a lot.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get your weight. Let's see how you are today.
Get this thing off of me.
And I don't like your scale.
Yeah. He's having trouble with his weight going up and down.
Mm-mm.
286.6.
That doesn't sound like a loss.
Well, it is. You were down. Let's see here. You're down 2 pounds.
Oh, okay. I guess my scale. I'm thinking of my scale at home.
And normally, like we said, you had a big loss, right? And then it does tend to slow, so that's okay.
Okay.
Let's see real quick.
And today I feel like I need to go again.
You need to feel like you got to empty your bladder or your bowel.
Like I said, one day I can't go for save my soul, and the next day it's like, oh my gosh.
6.4. So it's good. You're 2 months in, and you're just shy of 30 pounds.
Wow.
So that's good. So I still believe that by the end of the month you're going to be completely out of the 80s and the upper 70s. When I was looking at your meal, I noticed you went to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with Chick-fil-A because you got the grilled chicken nuggets.
Right.
How much salt was in those?
After I had them, I put it on there and found out it was massive salt.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's going to be fun for the next couple of days. So that's, and so I learned not to do
your
that.
overall salt intake wasn't terrible. You were still at 2,200 milligrams for the day, but going from about 1,000 to 1,100 and doubling that up, your body probably did get a little bit more puffy.
Yeah, I felt really, even in my face, I felt puffy.
Yeah.
And I was like, no more of that stuff. And then we talked about it and thought, well, if we ever go there again, to ask them, can they cook it without the seasoning, or is the seasoning already in the chicken? Because otherwise,
I wouldn't worry about it. to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't worry so much about that. I don't want you to be overly concerned with every, infinite detail.
Mm-hmm.
I think from a standpoint that understand that when you go out to a restaurant, it doesn't matter what you get, it is going to have a lot of salt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think that's the mindset that you have to have. Even if you go to these restaurants that have under 500 calorie meals,
Mm-hmm.
right? The sodium content is is nearly the full day's worth in one meal. That's what essentially they get you to eat all of it, is because they put a lot of salt, and when it's salt, you eat more. And when you have more salt, you also consume more, right? So, or drink more fluids. So that's the natural tendency for those kind of things. So it's not terrible, it's just be mindful that, okay, if I'm out at a restaurant, I gotta understand that the salt intake's not gonna be a lot, and then the scale the next day may show that.
Yeah.
Right? And it's nothing to be panicked about, it's nothing to be frightful about, it's just understanding that even when you follow a low calorie diet and you're on task, if you get a lot of salt, you can have some experience in weight gain just because your body becomes more sensitive to it.
Okay.
So just don't freak out. It's always something, don't freak out, it'll come off, just be patient. It's just, it is what it is. It's not like all of a sudden you ate this 500 calorie meal, you're going to gain 2 pounds.
Right.
It's not like you gain 2 pounds of fat, it's just water retention.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, because it was like...
Yeah, don't panic on those instances.
And I've noticed it doesn't taste good to me anymore.
High salt, if you're not, if you removed it from your diet, your palate becomes sensitive to it and very easy to go, wow, that's very salty. And it just shows you how much salt you truly were eating previously.
Yeah.
And just were accustomed to it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because I've been trying to keep the sodium around 1,000 if I can,
Yeah.
And
any cramping? Any lower leg cramping?
My hip's been giving me trouble. My knee's been giving me trouble.
Okay, but not like muscle cramps where all of a sudden you get like this cramp.
No, that was last week. I had a real bad one in the back of my leg. But yeah, I've been trying this for March. I upped my steps to 6,000.
Okay.
And it's damn near killing me to do it.
Yeah.
And it's really, really hard. So like I was telling him, I may have to leave it at the 6,000 and start working on a workout program at home or something.
Yeah.
That I can do that's not requiring me to do so much walking. But
right.
It's one of those. I've even, like I'll take her to the mall and we'll walk around, and then I'll sit and rest for a while, and walk around, sit for rest for a while. But like I said, I'm hurting pretty bad after I get done.
Good.
Trying to get all those steps in.
I mean, I know you're progressing, which is good. You're pushing your body, but just listen to your body as well, and realize what you can and can't do, and so forth. By the way, congratulations on your accomplishment of whatever that's going to be. So I saw your email.
Oh, I won $10 gift certificate over at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Oh, that's nice.
And what we were supposed to do was they gave everybody a challenge for the week, and I recorded mine on video and I put it on YouTube. And it was just a list of stuff that we had to do. So I was trying to do all the exercises, which was pretty. I ended up having to do the wall-ups, instead of the push-ups. You had to modify it where you could, and so I tried. And I had this cat that just kept getting in the way and pulling my hair while I'm trying to do exercises and stuff. But I did the exercises and turned them all in, and I won a prize, which I wasn't. To be honest, I didn't even know there was going to be a prize. It was cool. So this week the challenge is.
There's 2 of them.
Yeah, there's 2 of them. One is we're supposed to log our food, say what our diet, what's our goal for the diet, and we're supposed to log it for like 3 days.
3 consecutive days.
And then the other one for 2 days, we're supposed to do 30 minutes of some sort of aerobic thing, even if it's just walking.
Yeah. And
I'm like, well, shoot, I walk an hour a day as it is, so that's not going to be a biggie. But I did ask as a school, can I just have that log what I already do, or do I have to do this extra? And she goes, no, just do what you regularly do and log it. And then we log it all and send it off to her and see. And supposedly there's another, somebody might win something type of thing. So.
Well, that's cool.
So
Good.
I thought that was kind of neat. So maybe this time this old guy will win.
Yeah.
He's in the same contest, so.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, you're 20. What did we say? 27. You're 27. Yep, 27 pounds.
Cool.
So you've got 3 pounds to hit the 30. Okay. You have 5 pounds to hit 10% weight change. Okay, so 281. Right, you will be at 10% weight loss, which is pretty good, really good. So the idea behind that, one of the things that you saw, kind of like what I posted up on Facebook, is what we're going to be starting. If you get 10% weight loss in under 3 months, right, then you're going to get a $50 gift card.
Oh. Right,
to wherever, it'll be like a Visa gift card.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
All
So
right.
that's what we're going to do for our patients. So every time they got to hit 10% in the first 3 months.
Okay.
And they have to hit 20% by 6 months.
Oh.
So every 3 months, if you can lose 10% of your initial starting weight, right? So then you will get a $50 gift card.
Oh, wow.
For that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So essentially, what we're doing is giving you back some of your money that you're investing in you.
Okay.
And that $50 can be used, again, it's a Visa gift card, you can do what you want to do and so forth. But we've been toying with that idea. We've seen previous research coming out over the last 2 years about incentivizing more or less in employee wellness and so forth, and having modest to some good success. And then obviously the big study that was published last week by Mayo Clinic also showing, and they did it a little bit different, where they incentivized you for losing weight, but then penalized you for not losing weight. Where they actually paid into
a kitty.
So obviously that's a little bit more painful to do, but we're going to reward versus penalize. Obviously.
I figure I'm penalized enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Pay me every month.
So at least from that standpoint, we'll give you the option, and you can either take $50 off your, credit, or if you want a $50 gift card, that's perfectly fine too. So we're going to give patients that option.
Okay.
So at least it gives you some incentive to work towards something and push you to that first 3 months. So you've got 5 pounds, right, and you're only 2 months in.
Oh.
So
I might just make that one.
Yeah.
Got to be extra good.
Exactly.
I have to be good.
280. So 280 is where you're going to get it.
Okay.
Okay, and you're 2 months in, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to lose 10 to 12 pounds in the next month.
Okay.
So you're on the right path.
I've been trying hard. I know that. It's like trying to find out what I can and cannot do, and when I added the fruit, it was like, because like the first day, I think I had, it was like Friday, Saturday, I think, before I finally started eating the fruit. And on Saturday I was making the chili, and I had cut the apple up into chips, and I was just eating it like chips while I was making the chili. So I didn't feel like eating the chili by the time it was done. It was like, I'll take a sample. One of those things.
Sure.
But yeah, it's been, I noticed, especially since I started eating the fruit, for some reason I'm just not as hungry.
Well, because of the fiber. Apples and blueberries especially can have a good amount of fiber in those. So that, especially if you're getting a cup of blueberries, that's probably got quite a bit. So that tends to help with a little bit of satiety with that. So you did good. I expect things, 2 to 3 pounds per week. So some weeks, again, you may lose a little, right at 2. Some weeks you may lose a little bit more. And so again, our bodies are not lying. We just don't lose. We measured your metabolism, all that kind of stuff, and says, you should lose X, Y, Z every single week, right? That's on a very linear trend, but we know our bodies respond differently, and we know how many calories it takes to lose weight, but our body sometimes will lose a little bit more, lose a little bit less, and it always equals out in the end. But you're right on track from where we started with you. I mean, if we drew a line and said this is where you're going to be, you are right on that line. So, and I think that's the main thing. And granted, you had a little blip, that that was a learning experience. But I think for the most part is, just get the next 5 pounds off, hit that 10% weight change, and then we're going to remeasure your metabolism and see what the variance is between when we measured you initially, and it will go down. There's no prevention, that I can prevent that from going down, it does go down.
Yeah.
There are some things we can do to help increase it, but it's a natural physiological response when you go through weight loss. I mean, it just is. It's not like it all of a sudden goes down to 500 calories. It just doesn't do that. It will drop dramatically, but how we prevent it as much as possible is maintaining that lean muscle tissue by having you do, you're doing a little bit of resistance training, but you're also eating an abundant amount of protein that maintains lean muscle tissue. So that's why that's important. So, what questions do you have for me?
Well, I asked about that. The medicine that you were talking about for the swelling, did that come in? Or?
Not yet.
That still hasn't come in.
I want to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, because it's been more swollen this last week.
Is it?
It's more swollen.
Okay.
And
I'll put it in today. I'll have them sent out today. I will ask. Okay.
Because that's one thing I've noticed is I feel more swollen this week.
It's probably because of the salt. Picked up on.
Even though it was a week ago I had it.
Well, it wasn't real. I mean, is that when you had your?
Yeah, that's when I had it. Was like
the 8th? Oh, okay. Yeah.
The rest of the week I've been real careful about the salt.
But you indicated that you've increased your activity too.
Yeah.
So that can also lead to a little bit of swelling.
More activity can.
Yeah, because typically when you're doing that, you can have a little bit of an increase in water retention because of the, I don't remember if I talked about this, but if you increase your exercise load, your body needs water to retain or to restore the glycogen, stored glycogen in the muscle and also in the liver. Okay? So what happens is you need 3 to 1, 3 parts water, 1 part glycogen. So your body does retain fluid to replenish the glycogen stores. If you've increased your intensity with exercise, it's a normal response. It will clear after about a couple days to a week. It does take that long. And then naturally when you start building lean muscle tissue, you're putting on lean muscle as well as you're taking off fat. So I wouldn't worry so much about that. Let's get your blood pressure just to double check, make sure everything looks okay with that. But I think you had a good week.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have expected anything different. So, you've been doing well this far.
I've been trying really hard.
So how are your comments on YouTube?
I've been doing pretty good.
On the bottom number. Pulse rate looks good.
Okay. Yeah, the comments on YouTube's been pretty good. Especially like the ones where we've been doing these office ones. I've had a couple where it's like, I never thought of that. Like the medicine and stuff like that. They never thought that that medication could cause a weight gain or having a sensitivity to a certain type of food could cause a weight gain. That's the reason why this week I was a little worried about having the fruit, and I'm like, I'm gaining weight, is it the fruit? Type of thing. And I was eating a little bit less, like when I did the shakes. I put like a cup of strawberries instead of a cup of half a strawberries in there. And the blueberries, I only put a half a cup versus the full amount in there. So I was trying to do a little bit less, but still get that in there somehow, and then try to adjust the rest of the diet so it can still stay within the guidelines.
Sure.
Type of thing.
Well, I want you to repeat. I don't want you to add. I don't want to keep adding in new things this week.
Yeah.
I want to repeat what you just did.
Yeah.
Because I want to see how your weight responds next week. So it's a slow. We're taking it slow with reintroducing certain foods. But let's take another week and we'll see how you respond with that. I'm going to order the Diabasque this week, so I'll have it for you next week.
Okay.
I should. Trying to think. Any cyberbullying going on? On your
people picking on me? No.
None? Okay, good.
It's very, very rare does that happen. Usually doesn't bother me. Makes me feel like, hey, I'm important enough for you to waste your time bullying me, type of thing.
Because there could be some cruel people out there, and you're putting out your emotional and your physical journey, right? And so people can actually want you to take offense to that. So
Yeah.
and they want to, you know.
Yeah, and I'm usually one who doesn't put up with it anyway. You know, my son told me one time, you know, somebody was being ugly with me, and he goes, "Mom, one thing I don't like about you is you don't take shit off of nobody." And I said, "You got that right." I'm not a doormat. I'm not about to start.
Good.
You know.
Good.
And so I don't have that kind of problem online.
Okay.
Very much, you know. I've been making friends.
Well, good. Good. Well, you're doing well. What's your schedule look like next week? Same time?
Same.
All right. So I got 2 weeks left in the month. So the goal, I think this goal this month, let's get you out of the 80s.
Okay.
That's the goal. I really want you to push hard these next 2 weeks and get you out of the 80s. We're either going to measure your metabolism on the 27th or the 3rd of April.
Okay.
We'll remeasure and see where it is.
See if it's changed any.
Yeah.
Is it normal for it to change?
It's normal for it to go down.
Oh, okay.
So it'll go down. That's what I can't prevent. We can do some things to help with it, but before we do anything, I'd like to see what's transpired first. Because it may not have gone down. I mean, it just all depends. So that's why I want to remeasure. Let's see here. I can do it a little bit earlier. I can do it 11:15.
That's fine.
Okay.